this is a kind of a weird green color. Like my infrared cameras, I have a green one, I have purple ones, and I have the gray ones. I was like, my green isn't that color green. So I thought that was kind of weird. And, you know, it's interesting that they say the green was added, because then it was probably added and not the correct tint of green, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, they go on to say when the documentary came out, the questions started flying, and he realized then that he was in too deep with the story. He then shut his whole team down and deleted the website and YouTube channel, which had all of their video clips, all of their evidence, and everything. So they shut it all down, which was another really, really important part about the movie that interests me, that he completely shut the team down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything went away. And he goes in to say that he did that because he wanted more family time. Right? Here's the problem I have with that. If you want more family time, you just don't investigate as often. Or you just pull yourself back. You don't pull your team. Let me tell you what, dude. I have my own team that Jerry and I started, and I've busted my fucking ass to get our team where we're at now. And to have the people that follow us that do and that support us and whatnot, I would never, I don't know, I would never just give that away and just give up on it and just say fuck it, you know what I mean? Because I want to spend more time at home. I would let somebody else take it, you know what I mean, and still be involved from time to time.
Well, I'd like to think that you would trust your team enough to just keep moving forward.
Exactly, and he had a big team.
I was in a paranormal group where the head of the group decided, you know, he was in too much shit with, you know, some other people, and he didn't want to investigate anymore. And basically, instead of keeping that going, decides, oh, you're going to be better off on your own, and you better just go off on your own. And then when I leave, talk shit and says, oh, he deserted the group.
What?
Because he didn't have balls to tell the group that he was just going to take a break from investigating. So he basically blew up the whole group because he no longer wanted to do it.
That's crazy.
So that's where that's my past. So yeah, having that happen, I would appreciate you as being, you know, ahead of your group to say, hey, I'm going to spend more time with my family. You guys go ahead and take the group and keep moving it forward. And when I can, I'll be back.
Exactly, man.
That's the decent thing to do.
Exactly. That's what's right for the team, because it's not only did, you know, I can't think of it like, not only did I start it, but there's people in the group that have been there from the get-go that have went through the bullshit of starting a new team and getting to the point where we're at. There's a lot of work that goes into it. People think that they can just do it, you know, and you can if you don't want to do it right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to have the proper paperwork, to actually protect yourself, you know, God forbid you get sued or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of background work that people don't even realize that goes into it. Like, for us, for example, like, we don't go into a single location until we have completed documents saying that we can post evidence, that we're allowed to be in there, that we're, you know, not a liability to the property. You know, some places require us for our insurance information. You know, I mean, there's a lot of background stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
That you would just not give up something, especially when your team is doing freaking ghost tours and stuff. Like, you have to have a well-established team to be able to do that. I mean, you can't just, like, say, I'm just going to go do ghost tours right now. Like, that's a lot of work to do that shit. You're not just going to give it up. So that was one. I gotta say, that was a red flag.
Yeah, you do all that work and then you just give it up? Nah, come on.
Hell no. So I will say that, yeah, that's definitely a big red flag to me in the movie.
And I'll be honest with you. So I went into this documentary with the mind frame that I'm going to shoot it down on purpose just to piss Landon off.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
That's where I went into it. I'm like, this thing could blow me away tonight, and I'm going to tell him that it's fake no matter what, because he shit all over Zach's documentary, which I enjoyed it. So my first thing was, I'm going in. I'm not going to tell him, but it's fake. I enjoyed it, but I 100% just did not believe that image. I just didn't. But I will say I enjoyed it. I mean, it served a purpose, just like a movie does. It was entertaining. You know, it had good stuff. I personally liked Zach's documentary better, which you hated.
Which we'll get into that one. We'll get into that. Let's keep that one separate.
Yeah.
But
you know, yeah. So go ahead.
But at the same time, like, I'm the one that's sitting back here saying, nah, man, we should really try to think about how we should go about seeing if this is legit or not on our own. Investigate it more. And because I was so on the fence, I was like, dude, this really could be legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was that good to me of a piece of film. So I was totally on the defense side of these fuckers. And so, you know, seeing them argue and stuff like that, which is, it's whatever. It's no big deal to me. Like, y'all can argue all you want. I've stated my opinion. That's it. There's no point in arguing. So I go throughout the day after I got that message, and I constantly keep going back in my head and thinking, fuck, man. Like, I hate being wrong. You know what I mean? But, like, I hate being wrong and not having these fuckers back when they were saying this is complete and utter bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, fuck, man, that pisses me off. So constantly having this through in my head all day, I decide, you know what? What's fucking better? I'm just gonna ask Craig exactly the message that I got and see if he has a response. So I literally said to him that I received this from an anonymous person this morning regarding the Sir No Face footage. And before I give a full review of it, I want to see if you had any response to these comments. And let me just read you his message. First off, it starts off saying, Jesus, not again, sigh. Good day, Landon. It's not a secret. My boys visited the island with us. It's all through the documentary. We spent so much time there, we couldn't leave them at home a lot, so they would camp with us. Which, I don't remember that being in the footage of them saying that their kids stayed on the island with them. I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure I distinctly don't remember them even mentioning it at all.
I don't either.
Anyway, he then goes on to say, and this is a very, very important part of this whole message right here. He says, yes, mate, it appears Chad brightened the footage, causing the grain in the movie. And that's what happens when you brighten dark footage. And that right there is what pissed me off. That's the second I was like, man, fuck you. You know what I mean? And not necessarily him, but Chad. I was in my head more Chad. Because how fucking irresponsible is it of you to make a movie, alter the original footage, and present it as if it's the original footage? Man, fuck you. That's what I say. Mm-hmm. That's bullshit, dude. I was so pissed right there. That's the guy who filmed the footage telling me, I have it in a message. If God and everybody doesn't believe me, I'll post the motherfucker. It says, yes, he changed the footage. Right there.
Well, and in the documentary, he could have said that. He could have said, here's the original. We've brightened it. It wasn't complicated to just put that in the documentary.
Exactly. And he can't play stupid and say, well, I didn't think of that, because you did it when you added filters to the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that is completely irresponsible of a filmmaker to do that. And I'm disgusted with you, Chad Kalick, for even fucking thinking that you could do that. Anyway, he then goes on to say that it was never black and white, and the IR was always green. So whoever said that knows nothing of it. Maybe that's true. Again, I don't know. I thought it looked a different color green.
Yeah, it didn't look... It looked a different color for sure.
Yeah. And then he goes on to say, WSPR, which is his team's name, separated as him, Craig Powell, wanted to do a podcast and not so much investigating to be home more. The guys still investigate today, and I'll help out once in a while. This is the second time that I got fucking pissed. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's doing what we just talked about. If you needed to step back for family time, you would step back, the team would still investigate, and you would help out when you can. And that's exactly what he fucking says. Why did you have to shut your team down? Why did you shut your website down?
So basically, your team is now getting ready to have this just major evidence release that's going to probably make your group very well known, very popular, and you're going to shut it down at that moment.
Yeah. Why?
So you're leaving. You're giving nobody the opportunity to actually kind of ride that wave of, look at the evidence we got. We've proven that, ghosts exist, and you're going to be like that group, the big group that finally found it, but yet you just shut her down.
You just shut it down. So stupid to me, dude. That's huge red flag to me. You know what I mean? Like, if you find some footage like that, you like you said, you're riding that wave with your team. Like, you're the shit of the year. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck?
I'm saying I'm going on tour.
Exactly. Why would you shut it down when that's the most popular you're ever going to be? So that's stupid. Yeah. And he just backs it up by saying that, they still investigate, just not as the team that captured the footage. Why? So anyway, I'm going to keep going. He continues to say, investigating is not my focus anymore. I really want to share my experiences now with podcasts and workshops. I'll leave the hard work to others. I fulfilled my goals with WSPR. Had absolutely nothing to do with the film. Again, as I've mentioned 1,000,001 times, the footage was never posted. Whoever this is knows nothing of the investigation or the exact detail. Thanks for your concern. He then goes over to say, before I reply to anything, he says, sorry if there was attitude there for a minute. I'm just over the bullshit and the witch hunt. No wonder I prefer dealing with the dead. And just to add, who has the more integrity here? Someone that is too scared to give a name or just talking shit, or a team that wanted to share a cool story with everyone? Let's see. He then continues, as I'm typing my response, he just keeps sending me messages back to back. And he said, I shouldn't give these trolls the time of day, but fuck them, they're gutless pigs. Anyone would think I'd be the one getting paid for this movie. You know what I mean? So he's like tripping out. He's tripping out over me just literally...
He's getting defensive.
Yeah, getting really defensive over me just asking a question. I then reply with my message, which is a little bit long because he just kept saying shit. And I go on to say, I can only imagine having a story out there and, it being so personal with my life, especially with the audience being paranormal people, because honestly, they're some of the worst fucking judgmental fucks out there, Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when you agree to doing a film like this with evidence like that, it's what you can expect. Some people's going to believe it, some won't. Some are always going to turn down any evidence of a ghost just simply because they don't believe it. And
I feel like if I had that footage and you're going to get tired of people questioning you. I completely understand. But I feel like I would sit back and laugh because I know that's 100% real. Like, you can question me as much as you want, but I'm going to laugh in your face because it's not going to bother me because I know it's real.
Exactly. I would not.
I'm not going to get defensive at all.
I would not. And dude, the way I'm feeling like he's like literally coming at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this, yeah. I can imagine his big fucking ass on goddamn steroids coming at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm kind of the same way with you. I'll just be like, believe it what you want. I mean, that's legit.
That's all
there is to say.
If I worked with some, let's say I worked with Nick and he releases this documentary and people are loving it, and there's people that are hating it, and they're messaging me saying,